Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on the two brothers in Chicago that were arrested after the murder of a police officer and another police officer that was left in critical condition with a bullet inside of his brain. August 7th, 2021, it was around 9:10 at night in Chicago's West Englewood neighborhood when police officers conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle after running the plates, which they found were expired. There were 3 officers in a patrol vehicle and 3 occupants inside of the SUV as a screenshot from body cam footage shows a man in the driver's seat and a female in the passenger, the third man off camera in the back seat. The driver was identified as 22-year-old Eric Morgan. He followed commands as he was told to turn the vehicle off and hand over the key. Then the 3 exited the vehicle. His brother, 21-year-old Amonte Morgan, quickly escalated what was a calm situation when he refused to put down his drink and cell phone. Officers then attempted to restrain him by grabbing his arms, to which he began physically pulling himself away, while the driver, Eric, took off running with an officer chasing after him. Unreleased footage from body cameras reveal as the struggle ensued, Monte had a firearm in his waistband, and as the struggle continued, he pulled his gun, firing into the head of a 29-year-old female officer who then fell flat on her back, then firing into the face of a 39-year-old male officer, striking him in his eye, the bullet entering his brain, and another bullet entering his right shoulder. Both officers fell to the ground, face up, as their body cameras continued recording. At one point, Amonte could be seen stepping over the 39-year-old officer's body before stepping out of view. As the third officer chased Eric, he heard the gunfire and ran back, exchanging shots with Amonte before falling to the ground. Eric also ran back, and Amonte handed him the gun as the third officer got up and shot Amonte in the stomach. Eric ran off with the gun and was later captured in a yard where he attempted to hide the weapon, and Amonte was arrested at the scene, suffering a gunshot wound to the stomach and tricep. The female officer who was shot in the head died at the scene, and the male officer who was shot in the eye had a bullet lodged in his brain and a gunshot wound to his shoulder, remains in critical condition in the hospital. On August 9th, Amonte, who still remains hospitalized, was charged with first-degree murder of a peace officer, 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder of a peace officer, aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, and unlawful use of a weapon as a felon. Amonte told investigators in a videotaped statement he had possessed a weapon and further admitted he thought he might have shot the girl and boy cop. He didn't know the officer he killed had her body camera still recording as he stood over her holding his gun and looking around. Eric Morgan went before a judge charged with aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, unlawful use of a weapon by a felon, and obstruction of justice, bail being denied for the both of them. The weapon, a .22 caliber Glock 44, was illegally purchased by a man named Jamel Danzy of Hammond, Indiana, who has since been arrested after purchasing the weapon on behalf of Eric Morgan, who was prohibited from purchasing the weapon himself after a felony robbery conviction. Jamel is now charged with conspiracy to violate federal firearms laws, has admitted to knowing Eric was a felon, and lived in Chicago before buying the weapon. Now he's facing up to 5 years in prison for supplying the weapon. August 10th, 41-year-old Evelina Flores, the mother of the 2 brothers, was arrested after a confrontation inside a hospital where his son Amonte is being treated for his gunshot wounds. She attempted to run through the hospital, push past officers, and kicked one of them in the groin, all while crying erratically and demanding to see her son. But before pulling this stunt, she went live on Facebook in the parking lot and recorded herself in the hospital. She was charged with misdemeanor battery, resisting a peace officer, and criminal trespassing.
Eric and Monty Morgan, I want you to know I love you, and your family loves you, and you not alone. Know that shit. For everybody else, I just want to simply say there is another side, and my boy's side is not being told right now. I cannot speak too much on it, but I will say this. Don't believe everything you hear and see. It's fictitious. And there is another side. My boys are not monsters. what people trying to paint them to be at all. At all. There is another side. I don't believe a damn thing CPD says. Amonte Morgan, my son.
Hold on. Was there a security guard?
I want to see my son.
Oh, hold on.
Monty! Monty! Don't touch me! Get away from me!
While Illinois abolished the death penalty, Amonte Morgan is facing up to life without the possibility of parole. And while the second officer with a bullet lodged in his brain has undergone a second surgery, if he dies, that'll be another count of first-degree murder. The woman who was with the two men in the vehicle at the time of the shooting has gone unnamed and uncharged. Now, first and foremost, they're fucked. Those two kids are fucked. Specifically Amonte. Eric, his felonies aren't that crazy. I don't know how much time that carries in the state of Illinois, but he didn't kill the cops. He wasn't charged with killing the cops. The mother made a video talking about her sons and they're trying to portray them as monsters and they were scared, this and that. It doesn't really seem like Amonte was scared. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to put down his drink and his phone, most likely because they were asking him to spread his arms, spread his legs, and gonna pat him down. You could have literally taken a gun charge as a convicted felon and got whatever amount of time that is in Chicago, 5-10 years, but you would have came home. Instead of taking a gun charge, you shot a cop in the head, shot another one in the face, shot at a third one, and then got shot your damn self. Pretty much put your brother in this situation too. Your brother had your back. He ran off as you were, struggling to, I'm assuming, run away. He thought you were gonna run, so he ran. So he's not the only one left with the cops. You end up shooting it out. Your brother comes back for you, grabs the gun off of you in an attempt to run away and hide the fucking gun for your benefit. So in my mind, his loyalty to you and your actions brought him down. Now your mother can say whatever the fuck she wants. She's your mother. She honestly looks dumb as hell saying that shit, knowing how everything played out, and then pulling a stunt like that in the hospital. I want to see my son. You kick the cop in the balls. I mean, nobody's gonna feel sympathetic, right? None of the civilians in Chicago are gonna feel sympathetic. The gangsters, CPDK, fuck the police, fuck 12, whatever. But you're not gonna find sympathy from anyone else. Now, the mayor of Chicago, Lightfoot, the bitch that always looks stressed out, that nobody likes, showed up to the hospital and all the police turned their back to her because they feel that she doesn't support anything that they do. When something happens to them, she doesn't do much about it. I mean, she's more focused on other weird shit. I remember there was a point in time she said she wasn't taking any interviews from white reporters. She only wants to be interviewed by black reporters. But then I heard that she is in a relationship with a white woman or something. I don't know too much about this lady's history. I just see the memes of her on Instagram and everyone's saying that she really isn't doing shit in Chicago, and Chicago's gotten that much worse since she's been in office. Now, do I think this kid's gonna beat this case? Fuck no, he's gonna get fried. If he was in a southern state, he would get executed. Hands down, 110%. He's old enough, he's 21. Yeah, they'd kill him. But because he's in Illinois, most likely, life without the possibility of parole, and it's a wrap. And as far as the police officer that died, Officer French, I believe her name was, they had rumors that she just got off maternity. She had a 1-year-old. Those were proven false. But she was the same officer that responded to a mass shooting in the Inglewood neighborhood. Found a toddler, a 1-year-old with a gunshot wound to the head, rushed the baby to the hospital, and the baby was saved. And she didn't call EMS and have EMS come. No, she actually took the kid to the hospital herself. So a lot of people are crediting her as being one of the good cops in a city full of motherfuckers that even the police do not care about you and do not care about killing you. But this is Chicago. This shouldn't come as a surprise to fucking anybody. A cop gets killed, everyone's like, holy shit. But at the same time, you look at the amount of people getting killed, children getting killed in Chicago. Nobody's really worried about one cop dying when you got hundreds and hundreds of other people dying. But one thing that they said inside of the report that stood out, at least to me, about the mayor is the fact that the mayor can do what she does, but the police are actually the ones that run towards the gunfire. And in this case, that third officer did exactly that. He stopped chasing Buddy, ran towards the shootout, got himself into the shootout, and ended up shooting the suspect. So I can understand why the police are like, man, fuck this mayor. We just lost one of our own. The mayor doesn't even have our back. It really just sounds like gang politics to me. It just sounds like another gang with uniforms. But hey, it's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. Till next time.